So for the first interview on our MITODiet channel, it's a pleasure and an honor to have with us Professor José Viña from the University of Valencia, one of the world experts on aging. So thank you for giving us this time. So I'm going to ask the first question, which is, what is aging?
Okay, that's a difficult question, but aging, it can be defined as changes that are progressive in humans and animals. I will not speak about the aging of the universe and that kind of thing, but changes that are progressive, that are intrinsic, is not caused by anything external, that it is not a disease, and it will lead to less capacity to tolerate stress. Mm-hmm. It is universal, is unavoidable, and is not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm. So what you define, what is healthy aging for you? Because different people have different rates of aging, and there are many factors that control that. The environment is one of them, genetics, epigenetics. So can we control most of our own aging rate?
Most, no, but you can control between 50 and around 50% of your aging, and we can certainly do easy things to increase the quality of aging. That's something that is there and can be done.
Okay. And one of the things that you also been working on is physical activity, and physical activity is known to have a series of effects on cellular metabolism throughout the body. Mm-hmm. So would you like to explain some of your findings in your lab?
Yes. One conclusion is not only from our lab but from many others, is that exercise causes a little bit of damage, and then your body, like with a vaccine, that causes a little bit of damage, and then you can have a huge response in defense. So exercise is good for you because you react, let me say overreact to the little bit of damage that it causes. Now, to prevent age-related diseases, you have to combine both aerobic, this is exercise that is maintained in time, with anaerobic, that is like weight lifting, because the advantageous cardiovascular effects is in long term, so it's the aerobic exercise. But to promote muscle building, or more importantly, to prevent the loss of muscle, then you have to remember to practice anaerobic exercise. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So one of the factors that actually involved in both aging, the effects of physical activity, most human diseases are actually mitochondria, which is my own favorite organelle, one of your favorite as well. So can you explain what you understand by the mitochondrial theory of aging?
Okay, the mitochondrial theory of aging is important because it explains a lot of the energetic collapse that happens with aging. So mitochondria are amongst the first organelles to be damaged as you age. And therefore, if you protect the mitochondria, which are, by the way, the energy sources of the cell, you maintain energy and then you age better. If you do not protect your mitochondria by essentially nutrition and exercise, then you're going to accelerate the loss of energy and you're going to age poorly.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So exercise is a way where you can improve mitochondrial function during mm-hmm. aging. There are some molecules that can actually be found in diet, which can also preserve mitochondrial function as well. Some of them are actually antioxidants. We know that not all antioxidants are the same. And we also know that in some, at least in animal studies, it appears that some mitochondrial directed antioxidants do provide some protection to mitochondria. What is your opinion on this?
My view is that, in general terms, it's better to direct molecules to organelles, let's say the mitochondria, to promote their own antioxidant capacity. So by activating, let's say, antioxidant mechanisms, you're doing a better favor to the organism than giving the antioxidants themselves, because they're more efficient. So many of the nutrients that we find, like many of them in plants, will activate the production of antioxidant enzymes. This is catalyzers of antioxidant activity. And in our experience in the laboratory, that's better than giving chemical antioxidants, like vitamin E.
So what you're talking basically is what we know by hormesis, basically. So you are saying that by targeting antioxidants in general terms, which have their effect by increasing antioxidant networks, antioxidant defenses in mitochondria and in general cell, is actually much better than those untargeted antioxidants that people take in supplements, which actually some of them are very hydrophilic and are quickly removed from the body, but others have a very specific action in cells, so they actually may do more harm than good.
Yes, in terms of exercise performance, we found that let's say having a lot of, let's say 1 gram of vitamin C is bad for you. It's bad because bad for you when you exercise, because it prevents the adaptations to exercise. So it's not that it is not an antioxidant. It is an antioxidant, but it will not let you signal for an overproduction of antioxidants. So I would not recommend having high doses of any given vitamin
before the exercise.
Before the exercise.
What about this? That's a good point. So before the exercise, they actually limitate all the good effects of exercise. But what if antioxidants in general, that's supposed to work, are taken sometime after the exercise? Would the recovery be faster? Or that depends on the site of the antioxidant? Suppose if you target mitochondria, it's probably beneficial. If you target someplace else, it's worse. What's your take on that? Our
opinion is that, and it's an opinion based on some facts, is that if you train, so if you, in the context of exercise and healthy aging, if you train, this is exercise but not to the point of exhaustion, then you should not take antioxidants, because you have to let the organism, I mean chemical antioxidants, okay? Because you should let the organism react and produce our own antioxidants. But if you compete, so this is when you're going to exhaust yourself and give everything you have in a game, then after it's good to have a little bit of antioxidants, because it prevents the excessive production of free radicals.
Correct. Now coming back to the role of aging. Do you think that during aging, mitochondrial antioxidants would have any effect in avoiding losing, for example, muscle mass or grip strength in the elderly? Do you think that will have any effect?
My opinion is yes. I think that in the process of aging, the chronic production of radicals, so free radicals that are very reactive, for one, they lose the capacity of being signals. If a bell rings in a minute, that's a signal. If it keeps ringing all the time, that's a nuisance, but it's not going to be a signal anymore. And there's a chronic production, overproduction of radicals in aging. Therefore, to prevent that is going to be very useful in terms of physiology, in terms of letting the radicals regain their function as signals. Therefore, I would recommend that directing, and not just giving any antioxidant, but directing antioxidant to the right place at the right time, that may be very good.
And finally, the final question, which is, aging and inflammation are very, very correlated. And mitochondrial disruption is also known to be one possible cause of inflammation because of releasing of damage-associated mitochondrial particles. So in theory, and I don't know if you have any laboratory result on this, by avoiding mitochondrial destruction or during aging, either by mitophagy or some other process, could decrease systemic inflammation in the elderly?
Well, the first answer to the first part of your question. The more I study aging, the more convinced I become of the role of inflammation. I think that it is common knowledge, but it wasn't sufficiently appreciated. So to prevent inflammation is a very, very important thing for healthy aging. Now, if one can relate mitochondrial damage to inflammation, then one has to another reason to prevent mitochondrial damage, and I don't think that has been explored sufficiently. I think one should work on that more and try and prove your idea that the disruption of mitochondria and release is a pro-inflammatory situation. If it is, then one has to prevent it by all means to have healthy aging. That's, as I said, the more I work on on aging, the more convinced I am that preventing abnormal inflammation is a very important thing to promote healthy aging.
Okay, well, thank you very much. It's been a very nice talk.
Thank you.